refused to drive me up. I'd always been stubborn, so I caught 3 different trains until I was within throwing distance of the campus, then got a taxi to take me the rest of the way. A shiver had run down my spine as Carvell Academy came into view at the end of the sweeping driveway, the spires and crenellations of the North Tower silhouetted against a grey autumn sky. There was something so alive about the old convent, something that swooped and pulsed like a murmuration of starlings. I'd always romanticised the university despite its history. It brought to mind old parchment and knee-deep piles of crunchy red leaves, cellos, and dark window panes and snow. The thing that made me fall truly in love with the campus, swiftly and irrevocably, was the cat. There were rumours that Salem, a sleek black Bombay known to have wandered around the campus before the school's closure, was actually immortal. Her soul was said to be the same as it was hundreds of years ago, back when the convent was still operating. The tour guide told us that Salem stalked the same route around the priory every day, visited the same glade every afternoon to bathe on the tree's sun-dappled branches, and curled up in front of the log fire every evening after a little nip of brandy and milk. When I saw her slinking along a window ledge of the chapel on my campus tour, I felt as though I was witnessing something ancient and sacred, something tapped into a supernatural pulse. I wanted to be part of that more than anything. Be careful what you wish for, as my beloved Goosebumps books used to say. Now, I could practically feel Dad's apprehension as we pulled up that same sweeping driveway on my first day as a Carvell student. He gripped the stitched leather steering wheel so tightly that his knuckles turned white. I knew he was thinking of Janie. Tulle dress, tiny sandals, cherubic face, dead body. I knew he was thinking of how he would never survive if that was me. I knew he was wondering if it was too late to fetch my mum's hacksaw. After I was offered a place, my parents eventually came around to the idea of me attending Carvell. They weren't happy about it, exactly, but they didn't expressly forbid it. Despite its 10-year closure, Carvell still offered one of the most prestigious and competitive English literature programs in the country, with published authors and internationally acclaimed academics among the glittering new faculty. Before the closure, there was one eccentric lecturer, Professor Sanderson, who taught a Gothic literature seminar that was rumoured to send students mad. I didn't tell Mum and Dad about that one, especially since most of the original professors were set to return this fall. Plus, the nightlife was practically non-existent. There was just one student union and a couple of old-fashioned parlours on the campus. So the chances of me choking on my own vomit or drowning in a river after a night of partying were slim. The field hockey scholarship sealed the deal. I was the star midfielder throughout high school, and my love of sports was secondary only to my love of books. Carvell offered me both. Still, now that we were actually here, traipsing around Willowwood Hall in search of my room, I could tell Dad was having second, third, and ninth thoughts. "Are you sure about this, kiddo?" he asked, lugging a box of books. He looked up at the North Tower, squinting against the late summer sun, teeth working at the corner of his mouth like they always did when he was nervous. He'd worked in construction for decades, so he was no stranger to physical risk. But it was different when it came to me. He couldn't even stomach watching me play field hockey. So leaving me at the site of Janie's death on the day of my 19th birthday, the same age she was when she died, was a little too much for him to handle. I grinned, hoisting my field hockey bag farther up my shoulder. "Of course I'm sure, you goof." In truth, I was nervous too, but I didn't want to show it. The apprehension wasn't just about the school's bloody past, or what would happen if old demons came back to haunt it. I was also afraid that I would fail under the lofty academic pressure. Because the reality was that I'd lived in the same small house in the same small town all my life. What if I didn't rise to whatever challenges were in store for me at Carvell? What if I was only a great field hockey...